Now is it happening? Here we go. Yeah. All right, here we go. I think I'm on there. Okay. Hello, people. I have no idea if we're actually here. I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know if anybody's watching what I'm doing. My channel will tell me. If this is happening. All right. Well, let's just end the stream. So I'm assuming I actually am streaming. All right. Let's see. How do I see? I would want to go to this and see what's going on in my dashboard. Is something happening? There we go. There we go. And this one is the one I'm recording. All right. I have no idea if anybody sees this. That's really not helpful. But that's what happens when you don't know what you're doing. Invite guests. All right, I copy that. All right. If I tell a person that I know that this is happening, then they can come. We'll try Dr. Tap because he knows that I am useless at this. And yeah. Oh man. This is what happens when an old man tries to get on the internet. Okay. Alrighty. Sure, why not? I can't do that. I gotta upgrade. I can't upgrade anything right now. Okay. I thought it was gonna be. I want to show this. I want to go show the comments. Nobody is here. Hey, Dr. Tap is here. That means I'm live. Holy shit. I actually am live. I had no clue. I am wearing my Lee Bear hat in honor of sauerkraut soccer. That would be the Germans. The Germans. They call it football. All right. So now the question is, am I wearing this headset for any reason? And I'm thinking I'm not. I'm going to check settings and see what my audio is using. All right. I don't need to worry about this thing anymore. All right. Close that. All right. So, all right. And Dr. Tap, I think I've invited you to come. I don't know if anybody else is watching. I don't know how to tell if anybody's watching. But the important thing is that I'm talking to at least one person who has a heartbeat. So I don't think a lot of people know me because I have a new channel, and I haven't been on. I've been on the YouTube for a long time, but I haven't been doing any content other than a few videos here and there. So this video here, if Dr. Tap comes on, I might change to asking him some questions about weird shit I've been thinking about this week, because I think about the way the universe is assembled, but I also think about the way people are, and I think about things that I deal with in my everyday life. And so today I've had a couple of great opportunities to listen in on some really fantastic presentations by people. Dr. Top, I'm going to probably go for at least an hour or two. My family all went to the fair, and I am going to just hang out here because I was too tired to do that. And yeah, so that's the window, 1 to 2 hours. I was going to start earlier, but I saw Stephanie's channel doing something, and I decided to listen to that because I had questions for her earlier, which she answered really well. And then some of what we were talking about this morning got brought up in her in that show she did with those other lovely ladies. So that fit in perfectly with other conversations I've been having this week and today. So, people that know me in my regular life know that I am a very, very large man. I'm a person that lives with obesity, and that is something that affects my day-to-day life in a lot of different ways. And so I'm an active member of a group called Obesity Canada. It's a charity organization that works to educate healthcare providers mostly on the best standards of care for people living with obesity, which is a disease. And a lot of people don't want to believe it's a disease. People don't want to believe that it's something that affects our bodies in a way that is controlled by something other than us as people. It's our willpower. It's our lack of brain power. It's our lack of willpower. It's a lack of mind over matter. All these types of things that people say and do in day-to-day life are based on preconceived notions that they have. And this is something near and dear to my heart because I've lived with obesity pretty much my whole life. My father, until he passed, lived with obesity. Many other people in my family lived with obesity, and I've started communicating beyond just being frustrated after going through a bunch of stuff, which I won't get into great detail about because it's kind of boring. But I, for a number of reasons, gained a tremendous amount of weight in my adulthood. And I didn't understand a lot of them, and I tried to fight back against it in what people probably call traditional ways: diet, exercise, etc. And I've tried a lot of different programs, and none of it was working. I kept gaining weight despite what I was doing, and in fact, because of what I was doing, what was literally happening is something that people colloquially call yo-yo dieting. Now, unfortunately, the problem with yo-yo dieting is that the height of the person, or the height at which they hold their finger with the string on it, keeps going up. So that doesn't necessarily happen with an actual yo-yo, which is something Dr. Tap could probably tell us all about how cool a yo-yo is. But they use gravity, and gravity being something that a bunch of folks seem to not like to agree with, probably because it's complex and a bigger topic, but it affects people with a greater body mass, and that's something I have. So I have at my heaviest been a 405-pound man. I have at my lightest in my adulthood been at about 230 pounds, and everything in between. And I would be considered what the terminology used to be. What would you call it? Morbidly obese, I think, was the term that we used to use. And people talk about being categorized as obese, overweight, normal, underweight, and there's extreme underweight. And I was and am extremely overweight. I currently weigh about 345 pounds, give or take. My morning weigh-in weight with no clothes on. And that is not a place I want to be. But at that weight, I've lost about 60 pounds from my heaviest. And I've been holding that pretty steadily. And the thing that bugs me about that is I think about that all the time. That should not necessarily define who I am as a person. It shouldn't define any person living with obesity. And I say a lot because I didn't script this. I'm just streaming. I'm hoping people will join in and have a conversation. What keeps on striking me is that there are so many people on our earth living lives that are harder than they need to be. Hello, Carrie Ann Chrysler, you are here, and welcome, welcome. I'm glad to have you here, and yeah, and thank you for whoever was passing the message along. In I think it was in Stephanie's channel. That was a great presentation, and that oh, that's great. I would definitely invite you in here, but and you can come interruptions or not. I have to figure out how to send you I have to figure out how to send you the stream code. Although I think I have so many there's so few people watching, I'll probably just post it here, right? How do I do that? Go to invite and just copy this, and then I can just like post this in here, right? How do I do that? Click this way, paste. There we go. I'm posting it. If anybody wants to join, and I sort of recognize who you are, I will let you in. And if I don't recognize who you are, well, I don't know what would happen, but I'll just try to sort it out. Anyway, here I am talking nonsense. All right. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just copying all the nonsense I've seen other people do. Except that other people prepare themselves and they get smart. You who hijacks any conversation I have, it wouldn't be good. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about me for a minute because I hijack conversations all the time. So anyway, I got slightly distracted, which I do all the time. And as Dr. Tapp and I demonstrated the last time we got on together talking about physics, fluorescence, and other nonsense, we got. I'm hiding the current comment. I guess I hope I wasn't actually showing the sample comment. That's awesome. I probably was. Oh, I see here. Yeah, at your house, yeah, someone's there who hijacks. I see, and if I was there, I would hijack that conversation. So, um, in my rambling excuse me, rambling and babbling way, I'm talking about what a large person I am, how my large body makes my life difficult, and how it's gone up and down over the years. And you know, here I sit, and I am. I was sharing the sample. That's good. See, that's because I'm a pro. I am a professional sample sharer. I had no idea I was doing that. That's good. Um, that is good. I should be. See, I can show this. See, this is. See, that's what I should be doing. Look at that. Look at that. See, there I can do that right, and then oh, Dr. Tapp here. Yo-yo strike me is not at all trivial systems to model. Yeah, I don't think that would be trivial to model at all. But I'll go back to the yo-yo dieting conversation, and we'll bring up physics if Dr. Tapp joins, or he may wanna talk about this stuff because um this is about what it's like to live in a body that's not very acceptable to the average person. And as someone who lives in what's oftenly referred to as a privileged position in society, at least in Canada and North America, this is something that that is, I guess, maybe something nobody expects. I'm white, I'm cis, I'm hetero. I work in a job where I'm not seen as out of place, if you will, because you know some people are those things, but they decide to go into a career where they're you know somehow stereotyped as being a woman's work, if you will, something a terrible statement like that. And you know I'm not trans. I'm not dealing with those things. I'm not dealing with being a race that is left out. So yeah, I have a lot of advantages. Advantages that honestly should just be the status quo. The basic situation should really be that everybody gets a fair shake. not that everyone starts out with a silver spoon. And I think some people have platinum spoons now, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, no, you're right, Carrie Ann. Yeah, and I see you identifying yourself that way. And I don't usually use that word. Fat is a word people use, and they say fat people or that. And you said yourself, and I'm quoting that I'm fat. Speaking about yourself, and certainly people have said that about me. And what people don't realize necessarily is that being large means that people think that you are essentially a joke. Um, big men have a better time than big women. Um, okay, Punk to Pasture. Okay, awesome, awesome. And Punk to Pasture. I don't know if I've met you before, but I did see you chatting in the other stream there, and I'd be happy to have you here and get some people to talk. So one of the things is that at Obesity Canada, we learn for ourselves and also try to educate healthcare professionals to not talk about people as being fat. So one of the ways we talk about that is with obesity being a disease and having excess adipose tissue is the way we put that. So when people talk in the medical profession about excess body habitus, excess body adipose tissue, which is what that is, adipose tissue, fat tissue. There are a whole bunch of different things. And yes, Carrie Ann, excellent point. Numerous body points for sure, and not just two boxes. And yeah, there's like so many things, there's a spectrum. And there's so many stupid reasons that people are put in a box, left out of a box, or aren't even aware that there is a box, which is my state much of the time. I just find that it seems like it's socially acceptable to make fun of certain groups of people, and it's just sort of the norm. And I work in trucking. Making fun of people of every type is rampant, and a lot of it is really, really terrible and stuff I don't like. And then there's stuff where I laugh along, and it usually has to do with what we're laughing at. And I like to think that I am a reasonable person and not a mean-spirited person, and that when I'm attacking people, that I'm attacking them for having bad ideas, bad opinions, bad behavior, but not who they are to begin with. And it's an important distinction that people often make. I find it to be an extremely important one. Character, yes, yes, Carrie Ann, that is true. And I've never asked you if you prefer Carrie or Carrie Ann or Carrie Ann Chrysler or what your preferred nomenclature is, but feel free to share what you prefer. And I'm Al for those that don't know, and I had to change it to AL, capital L, because the font on um, YouTube puts the L as confusable with an I, and because AI is the new thing, people think I'm an artificially intelligent trucker when I'm just a non-intelligent trucker. So I had a Carrie. Okay, give me a nickname if you please. Okay, well I usually my nicknaming is based on lazy fingers, thumbs, whatever. And when I watch these things at night just before I go to bed, I'm on my tablet and the keyboard on the tablet doesn't work at all. Um, and Carrie Ann, as I get to know you, I may come up with a nickname. I was notorious for giving people nicknames in high school, which I won't name them all. But K Car, there you go. Punk to Pasture. K Car back uses K. Okay. All right, there you go. All right, Carrie. I'll go with that because yeah, maybe Carrie Ann seems too formal. Um, so I was having an online conversation with some Obesity Canada members. These are people who are mostly patients, and I'm a patient of bariatric medicine. Currently, I'm a patient, and also I'm signing up for bariatric surgery again, which is something I tried to do back in 2018, 2019. Went off the rails a bit. That's what the really bad health issues in 2018, and then another round of them in 2019, and it postponed things into COVID, and COVID screwed it up, and that's it. Considering it, I'm assuming bariatric surgery, Carrie. So yeah, and it's its own thing. There's a lot to think about when it comes to bariatric surgery. I can talk quite a bit about it because I've been through the startup process many times, so I understand quite a bit about it. And if I had some visuals, I could probably do it without screwing it up. But basically, in Canada, we have three surgeries that are commonly approved for use. So you'll never see people doing something like a lap band or I don't believe they do the balloon here. I know when I was we were at a summit in May of this year, there was a company that has something they can inflate inside your stomach that's temporary. It's a surgical procedure. Also, would be considered a bariatric surgery. It's been approved for use in some jurisdictions, not others. But basically, the sleeve gastrectomy, which is the one where your intestinal tract is left totally intact, and that is a they call it a sleeve because basically what they do is they sew together part of your stomach to make it smaller. They leave your esophagus intact and they leave your intestine intact, and they basically just make what they call your pouch smaller. Now that pouch ends up being shaped more like a tube. So they basically call it a sleeve because it looks like the sleeve of a long sleeve shirt when they draw a diagram of it. I'm assuming it doesn't look anything like a shirt when it's inside your body cavity, but we all have a lot of stuff going on there. So that's the one that gives the least amount of weight loss or fat loss. But unfortunately, with bariatric surgery, you lose both fat and muscle, and sometimes bone. There's major nutrient deficiencies that come from these. There's less digestion and less food fits in the sleeve gastrectomy. Important to know that it still allows nutrient absorption or allows the most amount of nutrient absorption. There's also what they call the Rouen Y or the Rouen Y. It's I believe it's French in origin. So, and I also speak French. So you may hear me say things like that. Yeah, would the same results happen to have an extra digestive juices and stress? What happens to smaller stomach? Yeah, those are good concerns. And if you're in a medical program, they would actually like go through all of that with you. So limiting serving sizes is definitely part of it, but it's also timing. So, and it's also physically impossible to overeat. Like in that, if you overate, you would throw it up. You could eventually stretch the smaller stomach out. You have extra digestive juices. In okay, and is that like that sounds like maybe something like stomach ulcer type problems? Like there's extra stomach acid causing issues, and that could be a problem. Puck to pasture. I'm from southwestern Ontario, which is in Canada. And depending on where you're from, you may or may not know where that is. But it's a place that is in sort of the middle to east part of Canada, and I am in the south. Yes, Punk the Pasture. Tell us where you're from, and Carrie Ann. I feel like I know where you're from. You too. You are from here too. You're from Canada or Ontario or just the world in general. Um, Carrie Ann, I feel like you've told me that you're from somewhere. I'm guessing somewhere in the Midwest US. But yeah, I'm probably wrong. I'm probably confusing it with someone else who told me something like that. But regardless, Michigan, there you go, right next door. Right next door. I've been to Michigan many times. So, yeah, what was I talking about? Just babbling on about bariatric surgery. So bariatric surgery is like it's a thing. Middle of the mid, eh? Okay. I've definitely been through some of there. I know exactly where Port Elgin is. I know exactly where that Port Elgin is because I've been there. Yes. Ontario's West Coast. And Yeah, I have been to Port Elgin on a number of occasions, dropping off equipment, and I was not that far from there on Friday. Yesterday, I delivered a machine to Exeter. I delivered a machine to Exeter. So, you'll know where that is. All right, very good. M37. Oh, okay, that'll be like Michigan Road 37 or something like that, maybe. Yeah, I don't think I know that road off the top of my head. I could look it up. I guess maybe I should, and maybe I will. But yeah, I the last time I went to Michigan is a while back. I've done a lot of deliveries to Windsor and Sarnia, and my phone tries to tell me that I've gone to Michigan when I'm not close. So Michigan M37 on a map. It's a highway. Okay, here it is. Let's see where this is compared to where I've been in Michigan. All right, yeah. So I've been to a few places in Michigan. So the most recent time I went to Michigan, spent any time there. I didn't spend any real time there. I actually went to. I'm looking for this place. I was actually right just in Indiana, but I was really close to where I went to Michigan City. I went to Michigan City, and I traveled through. I was traveled through Michigan most of the way there. Grand Rapids, Traverse City. Okay, I know I've been to Grand Rapids. All right, there it is. Yes, I've been there. I've been to Ann Arbor. I've been to Lansing, and there's Saginaw, Toledo. I've been to. That's in Ohio. The map's just showing me all these places, all these places. Across the pond from K Car, nice Reliant automobile. There you go. Yes, yes. Famous. First from Lee Iacocca making them fairly cheap and plentiful, and then from the Bare Naked Ladies singing about them, about the $1 million, right? So anyway, I think I was babbling on about the Roux Y surgery, and that's where they actually cut out a section. They in that surgery they make your stomach smaller. They cut out a section of your intestines and reattach them. And then there's something called the Roux Y, and then there's the other one is called a duodenal switch. So usually what that involves is you get a Roux Y that's put together, and then they take the Roux Y apart later, and then you end up with extra loss of intestinal tract. I can't remember exactly which tubes they reconnect, but they do that usually in patients my size and larger to try and get rid of additional fat mass loss overall. And yeah, bone loss is troublesome, muscle loss is troublesome. I actually am a pretty muscular guy as average guys go, because I don't work out much anymore. And when I ripped my arm apart in 2019, it cut out weightlifting for me for a long time, and so now most of the physical activity I get is at work. Moving heavy equipment is a fairly physical job, climbing up and down some very large hose and loaders and rock trucks and all that kind of stuff, dozers, all that, and the chains and stuff to go with them. So I do lift some weights, I move stuff around, and it's not non-physical, but it's not like that. Oh, Punk to Pack, you have a lot of health issues. Well, me too, but moving after a certain weight is a workout for core strength. Yeah, I know you're totally right, Carrie Ann, and you too, Punk to Pasture. Health issues are terrible. And so once you have a disease like obesity, you have what they call comorbidities, which I have many of. And comorbidities are often things like type 2 diabetes, which is something that I suffer with, but I have really well controlled, thankfully. But I also have asthma, which I've had for my whole life, no matter how much I've weighed. and it's very common, and it's made worse from carrying excess weight. And I guess my main thing is that with all these different problems we have, my main thing is getting doctors to understand that the obesity itself is a metabolic derangement. It's a metabolic disease. It's something that needs to be treated like a disease. And treating someone for having a broken leg and ignoring the fact that they're living with obesity isn't helpful. One thing's an obvious, or supposed to be obvious that it's a problem. Another thing might not seem so obvious. So living with obesity is one of those things. Blaming the patient for having the disease is not helpful. And so I had a conversation earlier today. It had me really thinking about this, and then having all these conversations with so many excellent um, trans people that are making content and talking about the issues they face, and also just talking about being themselves. Type 1 diabetes for 32 years. Diabetes is a tremendously difficult thing to deal with, whether it be type 1 or type 2. It lives with you day and night, and it doesn't matter what's going on. Type 1 can be much harder to control than type 2 because diet can't be altered to just make it go away. It's insulin dependence from the get-go pretty much. So it's something I've learned a little bit more about. I've been trying to learn more about. I've actually been working with people in the diabetic sphere as well, in my work, which is it's mostly volunteer. They do sometimes pay for like a hotel room or something, which I've just started doing that this year. But prior to that, I've been trying to speak up for people living with obesity, because I was talking about language before, and I go on so many tangents, but language is important. And the reason it's important is because we wouldn't go up to someone who's suffering from cancer and say that's a cancer person. We wouldn't say, that guy's got skin cancer. They're a cancer person. Look at that cancer person. Let's laugh at them. Aren't they silly? Why didn't they ever put on sunscreen? They should really just get that's a good one there, Punk to Patrick. I'm bored of it, so I got rid of it. Yeah, I want to do the same thing with obesity, diabetes. I want to get rid of depression. I want to get rid of anxiety. I want to get rid of arthritis. I want to get rid of the nerve pain I have all over my body. I want to get rid of my disintegrated back discs that are falling apart. I'd like to get rid of the pain in my feet. I'd like to get rid of my knee that's not working so great. I'd like to get rid of chronic tiredness and a lot of other things. Because I'm not just bored of them. I'm sick and tired of them. Sick and tired of all of them. Yeah, and none of these things are tangents, because we don't tend to use accusatory language or labeling language with other people living with other diseases. So if we call a person a fat person and say there is a fat person, it takes away the fact that they're a person from being the most important thing. Kidney pancreas transplant, that is a rough thing to deal with. That is crazy. Bad sleep. Yeah, I have bad sleep too. And I have PTSD. That's a terrible thing to deal with. I actually only have one kidney, Punk to Pasture, so I was born that way. But yeah, kidney pancreas transplant would definitely help with type 1 diabetes, because your pancreas could actually do a better job. And yeah, PTSD is a crazy thing, and I have not actually dealt with it firsthand. At least I don't think so. I think I have some other trauma type stuff to deal with, but not that. But I'm pretty sure it's something my daughter is dealing with, something like that, from having a very bad accident a few years back. Certainly some of the signs and symptoms are very similar. I don't know if that diagnosis has actually been used in those words, but it's definitely something like that. And so many people live with that. Okay, what is this? CPTS. Why do I not know what that is? Cardio. Is it cardiopulmonary CP? I don't know. Punk the pastor. You have to CPTC. Oh, okay. I see. I see. Does that mean chronic or is it something else? I don't know. I don't know that term. There's a lot of terms I don't know. I have known I've had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease for quite a while. And then it's like COPD. Okay. Is that right? That's chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. I think that one I'm familiar with. Um so yeah, I know. So now there's MAFLD. So that's, I don't remember what the M stands for, but they're changing that. Complex PTSD. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So complex, the way you spelt it, complex, means that it's like a bunch of stuff going on together. Is so, which is it's more complex for sure. It definitely changes things. So yeah, I've not had diagnosed with PTSD in years. Okay. So 2007 was the last time. Autism too. Oh, and that's something that affects my family. I have an autistic son. And he's amazing though. He Yeah, so you know what? All those things, like you get all this stuff together and it makes life so difficult. Borderline personality disorder as well. Wow. Well, we pretty much have an entire hospital's worth of specialists here. We can keep them all busy for a week at least. Borderline personality disorder is not something I know a lot about, but I have heard of it. You're amazing too. Yes. Yes. I am amazed. I am amazed. Everyone, you know what? Everyone's amazing. Some people amaze me for the wrong reasons, but everyone is amazing. And Punk the Pastor, I don't know you, but yeah, I have no reason to think you're anything but awesome and amazing. So, when I put down on my ticker here, how can I be an awesome person? And I think the way to be an awesome person is to be an empathetic person, someone that understands that the life you live, no matter what people may assume about you, um, for whatever reason, a lot of them outward traits. Until you get to know people, it's really hard. It's really easy once you know someone to know what a beautiful, amazing person they are inside. It's very tough to do that when you only know them from the outside. And that's something I'd like to change. It's also something where, for some reason, oh, okay, yeah, serial killer. That's a that is yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of serial killers are also men, so I guess I could get freaked out about that too. And yet, despite having been a man my whole life, I've never killed anybody. Not even I've never in the military, so I was never even asked to. Or in law enforcement or any of that type of thing where killing people is a normal thing, or if not normal, at least somewhat expected. So um and that's, it's very understandable. People in some of those lines of work end up being, really having rough issues with trauma and stuff like that. But then you add in these other things where, like, a mind isn't working in a typical way. And so, yeah, I mean, you see these. I think we're fascinated by true crime and even made up crime, because a lot of it's based on real ones. I used to love that CSI show where they did all the detective work in the lab kind of thing. That was a cool show. But yeah, when you see this, the night is young. Yes, Punk the Pastor. We'll see how things go. Maybe we'll get there eventually, right? Maybe we'll get there eventually. I've just realized that my clock on this computer is still set to mountain time, which is hilarious. I was trying to figure out why I thought it was so much later than it showed on the screen. Clearview Channel has a true crime segment. Okay. All right, cool. Is that a YouTube channel? It probably is. But I don't know. I'll have to look that one up. Clearview Channel. All right. So have I gone on enough tangents yet? I think I have. I've gone on a whole bunch of them. All right. Yes to the tangents and no to the YouTube channel. But I'm gonna make a note about that. Just this thing open up here. I already know roughly where you are, all the way over there in Michigan, and then, which isn't that far away, Claire, like Marie Claire, yes, and View Channel. Done. I will check that out. Check it out. Hopefully, I won't get. She guest host on the Shills. I don't know what that is either, man. I see you everywhere, and I still don't go all the same places. Doctor Tap, Doctor Tapioca Weasel, and Maya, I've noticed, are almost everywhere I go. So I assume the YouTube algorithm has picked all three of us and sends us all the same recommendations. But I'm not 100% sure about that. But I believe it's the hypothesis has worked out to be true 87% of the time so far. That if I'm in the chat, they're in the chat, or at least one of them is in the chat. I find that really freaky. And Dr. Tap he probably understands that the algorithm somehow sees us as consumers of the same stuff. But a lot of stuff I get, I think it thinks I'm some sort of a pervert, which I probably am, because I get news-ish. Dick Dawson. I'll have to do that. Is it there's fun and snarky? Okay, is it like a there's one of those channels that was Stephen Colbert had something to do with producing it, but there's one where it's an animated news channel, and they're hilarious. They kind of, it's a send up of like Fox News, CNN, etc. And they say a lot of crazy shit. But anyway, apparently I'm a pervert because YouTube has recently decided that the thing I'm most into is watching female divers, like doing, I guess, like Olympic diving or something. And it seems to be just showing me women in bathing suits diving off a thing and going into the water, and which is fine. I watch some of them. Yeah, it's really kinky. Hey, Maya, is it Maya? It is Maya, right? I don't know why I called you Maya. I guess I read the May first and added the A. Maya, how are you doing? And welcome. Yes, I am super kinky. I am into women that wash themselves off of high heights in a bathing suit. So the funny thing that came out of that though is the diving is amazing. And so at first it was showing me one of the things I have on my phone, which I'm assuming the algorithm actually came from, was the I'm into some spectator sports, and I often will support Canadian teams. So I had clicked on supporting the men's and women's and the young men's and women's. I think it's the under 18 rugby teams, and the women's. They have a sevens rugby and they have the regular rugby. And I clicked on all of those, and then all of a sudden I was getting Canadian divers. And I was like, okay, I like them too. Quite a pervert yet, but not a prevert, not a pervert. Okay, you're getting there. I see. Okay. Yeah, all right. So so I've had that whole thing, and here's like, and I think Maya was just waiting for me to mention her name, and then poof, she comes out, and I mean, inviting people to this probably doesn't work with the algorithm, but anyway, so then they started sending me this woman who I think is from somewhere in Northern Europe. I've never looked into it too hard because I'm afraid it'll think I'm a real pervert, but she is like a professional belly flopper, and just selling sex. Same suggestions in short. Like, do you mean in the shorts that they're suggesting that you want to watch women diving as well, or is it something else? Because, like, I mean, the women that dive, men that dive too, I think they're all like, I mean, they all have great bodies from being athletes. I mean, that's kind of like a given. There's nothing there's nothing wrong with having a good body, even though I have a terrible one. But maybe it's because we watch the same kind of the same kind of people talking about shitty people being shitty. I don't know, because women diving in bathing suits off of high heights are excellent people being excellent, I guess. At least, for those few seconds. I don't know. We don't know if it sounded creepy because you texted it, so it would depend on the way you said it. Like you said, "Hi Maya, you don't know me, but I know you." Might be super creepy in comparison with "Hi Maya, you don't know me, but I know you." Something like that. Did that sound creepy? Was that good? YouTube marketing. So, I mean, the thing is, are they trying to sell me bathing suits, or are they trying to sell me women's diving? Like, do they think I'm going to go on a big women's diving trip? Anyway, I might. I might. If I ever make enough money, I will absolutely load up my truck and start driving around all of the entire world looking for women jumping off of high heights in Olympic diving competitions. And at that point, I think I will be a super weird pervert. But the woman who's like a professional belly flopper is amazing. Oh, it's the commercials revenue. Oh, you meant it to be creepy. You meant it to be creepy as fuck. All right. Well, there you go. There you go. Well, I try not to be creepy, but sometimes I am. I don't mean to be. It's not that I'm not attracted to people in a normal way. I mean, I could be wrong. But I think, it's normal that people be attracted to other people, and people that have young athletic bodies. We're kind of taught to find them attractive, and there's things about them that are attractive. But yeah, I think YouTube knows that certain things sell, and that's going to be normal. And I guess the thing is, when you're what doesn't sell, which is me. I don't sell much of anything to anybody. You can start feeling, yeah, that's a good point, Carrie. And I'm gonna try to finish the point I was making so I don't go on another tangerine. But you can feel very left out of the world when, for whatever reason, you just don't fit in. And I think I've felt that way my whole life, that I don't fit in. And I find very interesting, so many people in the YouTube sphere that I watch are picking apart people that maybe they do fit in, maybe they don't, but their whole shtick is, how can I make other people feel like crap? And I feel like making people feel like crap is like a really bad take on things, you know. Um it's really hard for me to wrap my head around, and so much of it is wrapped up in women's or is an issue. Absolutely knows the algorithm process. Okay, well, some content. Okay, so I mean, I guess, it's I'm only associating it with lewdness because of um like the diving itself is, there's nothing wrong with it. The women usually they're either on the platform, or you watch them walk up to the platform. Very rarely you'll see them actually like climb a ladder or like a staircase, but usually the actual videos, it's clearly object. Okay, in your case, it's been soccer. Okay. I have not seen sexualized soccer. I'm gonna have to Google that later, Doctor Tap. Thank you for bringing that up. I now have something else to get rammed in my algorithm. That's hilarious. Sexualizing soccer. I got to figure out what sexualized soccer is. What I've noticed is that the thumbnails usually will show the women with, not always, but almost always, in a profile view, so that the curves of their body are in that. So I'm assuming showing off the curviness is part of what they're selling. Inequality between sexes would be an issue. Women are objectified. Yeah, they are. They are objectified, right? See, it's not the problem isn't that women are attractive to people in general, because I think women and men both find women there. You weren't suggesting content. Oh, okay. See, like I thought this was like you were giving me like a checklist of things that I should start Googling so I can find out about them. See, and I've always sort of assumed, like, I mean, it knows my rough, it probably knows my exact age. It knows it knows it might know my sexual proclivities, but it definitely knows I'm a certain age. I'm male. And it knows I like to watch people pull apart bad takes on things. So obviously, I also like to, I like to I like to get my rocks off watching women fall into water. So, that's sort of like it tracks completely, right? Um, but no, I think the more important thing is that we don't treat people like shit. We shouldn't treat people like shit because they're not the same as us, and we shouldn't treat them well because they are. We should treat people well, basically on spec. And anytime we meet someone, we should just assume the best of them and don't make assumptions until they give us a reason to think otherwise. And Dr. Tap is a perfect example of that. Yes, I want a new topic, Dr. Tap. Did you want to just present one and have me ramble about it? Do you want to join me? Does anybody else want to join me? And I will talk about anything because the unfortunate thing about everyone here is that none of you are shitty people, so I can't preach about not being shitty to you. But if you have shitty thoughts, um, get yourself a bidet and wash them away. Some people have it coming with consequences of choices like, okay, archaeology, gardening, mudlarking, rock hunting, history, biblical scholarship, atheism, news are my most common content creators. Okay. So, and my non-sexual proclivities are for quantum physics, astrophysics, astronomy, and atheism, skepticism, the Earth not being flat. Yes, Doctor Tap, are you able to get in here if you want to come in? But you might not want to come in. Well, I'd like you to come in, and even if you don't want to come in now, I'd love to have you on my show. I'd love to have anyone on my show sometime because I don't have much of a show, but I'd love to have you on my show to talk about some of the things that you're an expert in. But yeah, I loved having Dr. Tap on last week, and if nobody has seen that, you should see it because he said lots of intelligent things, and I said lots of shitty things. Don't like sexualizing people, so have YouTube Premium. If you want to call me a hero, you can. I have YouTube Premium, um, and so I asexualize athletic women that fall into the water because that has nothing to do with anything. Then they fall into the water they're very pretty at falling in the water. Like they do amazing flips and jumps and twists. But the professional belly flopper, she's something else. Like she does tricks and then she just stretches it out and flops in. So and she's mostly doing it like in nature, like off of rocks and cliffs and stuff. So archaeology is I'm trying to remember. Archaeology is the study of and finding of man-made items. Gardening fully, watch fully commercials. Okay. We'll promote it for their increased. Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Gardening is the process of putting really expensive plants in the dirt and taking out ones you didn't pay for. Mud larking. I don't know what that is. I want to think that mudlarking is like going after Mud Fossil University, master students and giving them a hard time for a lark because like it's just a lark is like kind of a British way of saying having fun. Rock hounding, that's going out and looking for rocks. History, that's kind of like everything that already happened that somebody decided to write down. Biblical scholarship, not an oxymoron, but definitely something I find less than exciting. Yet I listen to a lot of it. There we go. Dr. Tap. Dr. Tap is in the house. I'm adding him to the stage.
What's up?
Hey, nice marmot.
How dare you?
Oh,
How absolutely dare you? I thought we were friends.
it's the fucking dude. It's the dude thing to do, right? I got to abide.
Yeah. I guess that's how I know we are friends. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. I have some questions. I have no idea what mudlarking or rockhounding are.
I knew what rock hounding was because that's where you go and find cool rocks, and you can like climb over them and stuff. All right. Yeah, mudlarking. Like, I really want that to be like making fun of the master's students at Mud Fossil University.
Yep.
I forgot to get my antler so I can do my takedown of Vishanti's scandalous video. I've already I want you to be on that one, Dr. Top, if you're willing, because like
you showed me that. I forgot what the joke about it was. The joke about it was.
The joke about it is that she says this is the cutest tux cat. Is it a black tuxedo kitty?
Oh,
ever,
yes, I remember now. Yes.
And we had a conversation about, you said it's a 6 out of 10 at best. But I just said she's out there making claims and she's not backing them up with science. And
right?
so
but how do you do that? How so that raises the scientific question. How do we come up with an objective criterion for how cute a specific cat video is?
Well, I think we would have to get some test subjects and put them in an MRI machine and see how much the cuteness cortex is tickled by the presentation of that cat, and then a bunch of other cats, right? Past your awe. Mudlarking began on the river in London at low tide. Okay, so this is where you like go and look for. Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, so I've actually done mudlarking, but had no clue I'd done it because I grew up hanging out on the Canadian East Coast and going at low tide for looking at all sorts of cool shit.
So it's when you just like explore like the parts that are revealed at low tide.
Yeah, the low tide, like a river delta and or Victorian Air Support support. Casey, should we go on?
Do it.
Or do you guys mean, come on in.
Come on.
Come on in. Do the thing. Because otherwise I'm gonna start talking to Dr. Tap here about my idea to solve the two-way problem of light.
Oh. I posted the link again, but I can't because I don't have a wrench. So you have to post the link, I think.
What do I have to do? I just have to post it again. Okay, well, I haven't posted anything else. Yeah, Carrie Ann can't come on, but like Punk the Pasture can definitely come on. So this is a PC computer, so you can do this, and I can hit paste again. There it is. Here it is. I will give you a wrench, but I don't know how.
How do I give you neither. I also have no idea how. It probably involves right-clicking or clicking the little.
I'm not in YouTube.
Oh right, yeah. Do you have what's your like monitor setup? You have a single monitor in front of you?
Right now, I borrowed my son's gaming computer because it's the only one we have that's like not for anything important, and so if I screw it up, like, my wife will kill me, but at least it's only going to cost me like $1,200. But you need to be in YouTube to make someone a mod. Okay, how do I don't know how to do that. It's so okay. So if I go watch myself on YouTube, can I do it there? I mean, here's my
yes, probably. I would imagine.
It's like I think I should make a couple of people. Like I gotta make.
You should make Maya a mod because you should.
I have to make Maya a mod because she's a mod.
Everywhere.
Holy shit, look at what I did here. Okay, muted. Okay. So I should like my own video because why not? 4 people are watching. Okay. More. I have 13 subscribers. How did that happen? I only had 11 this morning. Okay, close. Okay, so here we go.
I'm highly skilled in the art of the shill.
The shill. Okay, here we go. Pin, remove, put in, add as moderator. Blocked word. Yeah, I'll do this. Okay, so I just made you that, and I'm gonna make Maya that. Oh, shit! What did I just do? Home, videos. This one. No, not that one. Holy shit! This is complicated. Can you guys still hear me?
I can still hear you. I have
Oh,
not
that is good.
noticed. I have not seen my. There it is. Okay.
Did you get wrenched?
Yes, I got it.
All right. Here we go. I was on the wrong level. Okay, I kept this muted. That's good. New pin chat. You can pin a message. Okay, I thought I already had that. Okay, and then here we go. Add as moderator. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I don't know what words should be blocked, but basically I'll say anything. Here we go. Okay, go back to StreamYard. Okay, here we are.
I'm opinionated enough to tell you if you start using words that should be blocked. I'm opinionated enough. Like if you were to like suddenly just go full, well, I guess if you were to go full Nazi, we'd have bigger problems, and I'd probably just cut you out of my life. But as I hope you would do to me, likewise, you know.
Yeah, I mean, see, I find what I find really interesting is that people keep saying you can't even mention the German Socialist Workers Party or whatever, right? Like cuz that's what like Dapper.
Dapper Dino.
Yeah, I was going to say Dr. Dino, but it's Dapper Dino.
There's two of them.
Like, I mean, I know they're brothers, but man, they got to like change the names of their channels a little bit just cuz they have the same last name. But yeah, they
well, they don't though. They don't. One of them is Dino, Deino.
That's right. Yeah, I know you're right. You're
right.
That's right. One of them's of Irish ancestry, and the other one's Welsh. That explains the different spelling. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I keep confusing the two of them because their content isn't even close to identical. Both excellent producers though, and I enjoy content on both channels. So yeah, okay. So are you guys both wrenched now?
I am.
Okay,
I'll wrench Carrie.
Okay, Punk to Pasture I think has come up. I don't know how long ago they came up. Okay, that's good.
I think Punk arrived because I just got back from the store. Oh, Punk's here. Hello, Punk.
Yeah, Hi. Put him in. Yeah, because I see him.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Him, her, them. I have no idea.
That's a good point.
I'm not making any assumption. I should not assume. I should not assume. Are you there?
I don't know.
Yeah, you seem like you're there.
Yeah, I'm having issues with my headphones.
Story of my life.
Yeah, headphones are in the ass.
I have so many things with Bluetooth that I can't tell what it's connected to right now. So I'm trying to find what Bluetooth is on.
Oh, okay.
Because I do gaming.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're hearing you. There's
okay. I just don't want it to feedback.
I don't know if you want one, but there's no video or avatar. But we can hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, we can. We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
That is an affirmative on the hearing. Yeah.
Oh man, I was watching some of those videos of people who are getting like cochlear implants and hearing for the very first time.
Oh man, those are so cool, eh?
Those are amazing. They all go exactly the same way too. The person like suddenly they hear and they're like, "Can you hear me?" And they like answer they answer, and then like they don't know what to do, and they start crying.
They hear their voice for the first time.
Yeah, and it's
like
so
whole, and like I dare anyone to watch that and not cry.
I'm not in the mood for that, but I'm gonna look that up later.
It's so crazy.
It's so uplifting. Like you look at it and it's not sad at all. Like even though they're crying, it's the most like obvious expression of tears of joy that like you could see.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. Maya's 100% right, but Maya is one of my favorite producers, content creators, just people, because they have introduced me to idiot science.
Bad Science.
What's Bad Science Sunday, which is tomorrow
There we
at
go.
It's tomorrow at 10:30 Newfoundland time.
You're in Newfoundland time?
No. I sometimes
good.
am in Newfoundland, but I'm not there now.
I thought you were in Eastern time, which is Ontario and Eastern time are the same.
Yeah,
right?
no, Ontario is in Eastern and Central time, but I'm in the Eastern time part of it. And then Central is Manitoba and Ontario, and then Saskatchewan just goes, you guys got to stop. It's head out of your door.
It sounds like a personal problem, Maya. It sounds like you need to bring some discipline to yourself and your life.
Okay. You know, that like my brain is so messed up from watching women's diving that I was going to make that a sexualized comment, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, let's just drop all of the women's diving stuff.
Yeah, that'll get me more trouble than mentioning the German Socialist Workers' Party. But I found it interesting that all of a sudden, all the shorts videos that were being recommended, because they used to be, they'd be like clips from little ones from Ember, little ones from Pelagia does a bunch of shorts and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, you should check out women's diving. I'm like, okay.
They do the weirdest things. Yeah, no, they do the weirdest things. Actually, it's been a while, and I wasn't steered onto this particular YouTube hole because of shorts, but this was totally a hole that I fell into. Hoof trimming. Have you guys seen
I get that too, but my family is I'm putting this one back up. My family is, not that the other ones aren't good. Should I be putting them all up? Yeah, my family is all equine. The family I'm married into, they're all equine people. My daughter rides. My wife is a rider. My married into family is in horses, racing horses, selling horse stuff, training horses, like just it's all horse all the time. So I just assumed that's where it came from, because my daughter and my wife are constantly watching horse stuff. And I just thought I was catching like some sort of horse virus on my phone from them. But okay,
get some ivermectin.
It's not just me. All right.
The hoof trimming videos are great. They're so great. Oh, they're like the livestock equivalent of watching people like pop fists.
Yeah, and I've never understood. Like, I've watched some of those things where they pop them or they do like dermatology cleaning or something, and I watch it and I'm like, this isn't going anywhere. I'm not really impressed.
Oh,
so
I love it.
Like 4 or 5 of them.
I love it.
Them.
I love it.
I can't stand them. There's nothing wrong with them. They don't gross me out or anything. I find them boring. The farrier ones, yeah, Carrie. The farrier ones are definitely interesting, and so and I've seen farrier work up close.
Hoof GP, man. Hoof GP.
Yes, Hoof GP.
Is there what is Hoof GP?
It's
that's a channel.
It's a channel. Yeah, I mean, I could pull one up.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
He's from Scotland.
Okay, we're gonna debunk it.
No, it's not a deep. It's Maya's excuse to go out and, like, I guess, do the thing she has to do. Let me find it. You talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, you're gonna find that.
Are you putting on a Hoof GP video?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I'm just gonna show it really quick. Find one that.
How do I see the chat?
I'll show you. Oh, you have to open up the Well, actually, you don't. There's if you click comments in the sidebar in StreamYard, there's private chat and then there's comments. And if you do comments, then you can also post directly from StreamYard.
Yeah.
At least I can, because I have it linked.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Here, I can. I will
Okay.
do it this way. I will show you what I'm talking about.
Can I
One
watch
moment.
myself on YouTube?
Yes, you can.
Oh,
I don't
wait, yeah,
recommend
it
it.
is. I don't want. I'm not putting my video on. I don't want to. I don't want to
That's fine.
scare away all the.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I just.
you can share. You can share to the screen, I think, or I can
Oh.
approve that happening, right?
I can't. I was trying to, but it doesn't let me share this tab. It doesn't let me share this tab because I guess that would cause an infinite regress of
Oh, so Carrie, this is your content, or this is one you enjoy watching? Renovation channels, a convent, event center. I have renovated some really old buildings when I used to be in the building industry, which I would talk about, but I'm not allowed to. Just watching them is fun though. Watching them is way better than doing it in person. Let me tell you, it's a pain in the butt. But it's
so I found a Hoof GP video.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so if I add this to the stage, and then can I set us up like? Is this a good way to set us up?
I can see it. Yeah.
And,
so let me,
okay, I'm gonna hide this just to. Okay, yeah, I've seen stuff like this. So they're probably this is a cloven hoof. So this is gonna be like a cow or something, not a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this would be a cow. So like, there's one. The one I've seen is where they find a nail or a piece of metal inside of it.
We're going to discover.
Oh yeah, those ones are boring.
This is the.
Yeah. So what they do, he starts off and he's just trimming it. It's really laggy for me. Is it laggy for you guys too?
Yeah, it's laggy here too. It's probably.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. It just cleaned up.
Coming now. Okay.
So you can see. It's got an abscess down at the bottom here.
Problem is almost always
okay. I saw the dripping.
This cow is basically part of a collective, a community of 300 cows living together. So accidents are bound to happen from time to time.
I would just let you guys know that this is my first time ever doing this.
Watching this,
first time
or being on a stream?
video, or being on StreamYard.
Being on stream.
Oh,
video. 59 seconds. Okay, well, I'll have to subscribe to Carrie too, because she's got a goat.
What? She has a goat?
I don't know. Or she's saying this is the greatest video of all time. Is her one of her in her garden.
Or the result.
But
I live on
this. So I love this. This is great.
As I can.
We got the thing.
Struggle slightly. This is an area of high pressure because of that cavity.
And there's a cavity back there, so now they're opening it up, and then they go through, and I guess they found it all.
Okay.
And they trim it all away, and it's super gross.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So stream. Oh, the stream cherry. Okay. Sorry, I thought Maya was ordering a soda.
Who knows what Maya's doing? You can't trust her.
She said stream cherry. Yeah. So yeah, I don't even know how I ended up on somebody's channel, but like the first time I went on, I was like, it was at the end of a long day driving, and I pulled into a truck stop, and I was kind of wired on coffee and stuff, and I pulled in, and someone said, "Hey, who wants to come on?" And I was just like, "Oh, sure, why not? I'll do it," and I just did.
Was I there?
Yeah. Are we good? Did we lose everybody?
I'm here. I was asking. Your first time being on a stream, what was I?
Oh yeah, no, my first time was good. It was.
Do you remember which channel it was on?
We lost at the fair.
What?
My wife took the kids to the fair, like the fall fair, even though fall isn't for another week and a half or something. But anyway, there's a fall fair in every town in Ontario from August to November, basically.
But they put them in the small towns, and then you can't when the people who live there can't do shit.
Yeah, we can't do anything because the whole town's shut down. We don't even we live in the country between two towns, and the other town over will have one. We won't be able to do anything 2 weekends from now.
Yeah. Like I live on a cattle farm.
Oh yeah.
And so if we have to get stuff from town, and there's a fair, we're not allowed all weekend. Because there's one road. There's one road that goes into town, closed.
Yeah, and they just close it for the fair so people can walk around, right?
Yeah. We have to go shopping on like a Thursday.
Yeah,
and we can't go again until Sunday.
Our town actually does. it was a little bit quiet during the COVID shutdown, but I think they're trying to get it all going. But we have like they'll shut the main road in town down about 5 or 6 times a year. Halloween weekend, shut it down for like half the day so kids can go trick or treating on at the commercial up and down the commercial strip. They have a Santa Claus parade. They have the fall fair. They have a parade. There's some other thing they do a parade for. I think it's Canada Day. And there's another thing they shut it down for. I forget what it is. And then the side streets will shut down for the farmers market.
We have the Pumpkin Fest.
Okay.
And it's a shit show. It's a
Pumpkin Fest.
Shit
Okay.
show.
No, because
Port
Elgin's the closest city or town, or
Port Elgin's a huge terrorist trap.
yeah, Port Elgin. Oh, everything up and down the west coast there is.
It's a big terrorist city.
Yeah,
you know, it's where all the terrorists come on vacation.
The terrorists, yeah, I guess.
Hit the beach.
Because there's so many places up and down there that are just a constant draw for I get like this tourism like all summer long. Like it's kind of like, it's not like up north where there's like one little town that gets all the business and everybody spreads out into their cottages on the little lakes. It's all the towns along the lake have it up and down.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. There's like Port Elgin's one of the big ones. Goderich, Kincardine.
Are you saying that these are terrorist cells?
No. He's using the word terrorist to describe tourism.
I know. I was in the
you were trying to be funny.
Point.
Okay. Maybe you didn't understand his Canadian accent. Might be throwing you off there.
What are you talking about, eh?
Don't know.
I find it actually kind of remarkable how many there seems to be in the circles, the YouTube circles, that I run in, a disproportionate number of Canadians.
You're welcome.
We just got.
I am welcome. I'm very. It's definitely a positive impact on my life.
We're not as shitty as some people. Okay.
Nobody thinks that is not the stereotype about Canadians. It is absolutely not the stereotype that Canadians are shitty. It's that they're polite, and they're cold.
Hey, sorry,
I would assume.
sorry about that, eh?
What was the other thing you said?
Cold.
Oh, like cold is in our personalities, or cold is in
like your temperature, because you're not, because you got heating, and you wear layers, I assume.
Yeah,
but like
we got electricity last year, so everything's better.
We got electricity and internet. We got it all, eh?
Yeah,
that has not. Okay.
Yeah, we got it all now, eh?
We finally have a way to warm up our beer that doesn't involve keeping it on the Coleman, eh?
This isn't rural Wyoming, okay? I understand that you have electricity.
Yeah. No, rural Wyoming.
Jesus, there, boy.
No, Wyoming isn't that far from here. Dr. Tap, did you? I was listening to a program you were in.
I'm sorry.
Because I just, you don't need to apologize, eh? You're not from here. I think somebody was interviewing you about your I think it was like a deconversion one. It might have been.
Was it on Neil?
It might have been Neil, but I was. Yeah, so I had known about Neil for a few years, but then I just realized he had a channel that I could do that, like watch some stuff, and then because I also know of your stuff, I think the algorithm brought me right to you on Neil's channel. I'm pretty sure. So I listened.
If you were to go on. Yeah, if you were to go on and just like search on YouTube for Dr. Tapioca Weasel, I don't know if my channel would even show up because I don't have any content.
I'm subscribed to you there just because somebody said it'd be funny if I did.
It's do it for the meme. I'm all about it. I'm all about people subscribing to me despite me not having content. I think it's hilarious. But you'll find Maya's stuff mostly from Bad Science Sunday, and an interview I did with Michael Granado, a couple shows I've done with Paleologos, and also the deconversion story. That might be the top one even. I don't know. Actually.
Yeah, and I don't remember even searching you. I think it just did it. Like I think because I was watching you on Maya's channel, and then I was watching another person on Neil. It then said, "Hey, check out Dr. Tap here." He shows me my content before it shows me his channel. Oh, okay, that's interesting, Maya.
That is very reasonable, right?
Yeah. Well, you're not making them any money if you're not making videos to watch, right?
For the record, I personally make YouTube a tremendous amount of money.
Yes, you do. You too. Yes. Not only that, but you make a lot of creators money, and I'm not a money making creator. If I ever became one, I would just donate all the money to Obesity Canada.
Maya, you can come up here.
Yeah,
want to come and live in Canada?
You're welcome. You're welcome to be up here and be a guest. Be a guest. I'm not much of a singing teacup, but yeah, I'm putting that one down just to make room for anything. Your comment is a very, very important one to me because I see any mistreatment of any people as being like a huge it's a huge disruption to everything everyone thinks they're working for. And it's something we should change, and we should get your voice up here speaking for women if you want to speak for them. Because I can't speak for them, but I do stand in solidarity with anybody that is living a less than awesome life. It's for white people. Don't worry about it. Oh man. Okay. I don't even know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
I'm putting this up.
I was referring to what Maya asking what's monetization.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Money's for white people.
I'm making a joke about institutional racism, which it's like one of those sentences that I'm not super pleased is now on YouTube forever. That I said out loud.
Yeah, this one here. I mean, I was gonna say something super off color.
I haven't said that. I mean, you said that.
Like, but... probably can't say that, right?
Out of context, that sounds so bad.
Yes, and I'm like aware of that, but I also.
But it's true. That's the bad part. It sounds bad because it's true.
Yeah,
it's fucking horrible.
No, it absolutely is. This was actually a thing that came up when I think in my deconversion story with Neil was I've lived like an exceptionally fortunate life. I have been pretty much healthy. I'm white. I'm well off. I'm well educated, and that was always super easy because nobody ever like looked at me and was like, yeah, he probably can't do that, like on any level. I never got that treatment.
That's interesting.
And the only thing like in my life story that is like really tangibly an issue is I have struggled with depression and anxiety and ADHD throughout my life.
Yeah, okay.
And that has been difficult in ways, but I mean, I roll Yahtzee on so many other things, just as a matter of course. And I see when it doesn't happen to others, and I'm like, this. I don't understand how people in my position don't all understand that they're on easy mode.
Yeah,
comparatively.
It's a hugely important point. I started out the stream probably before anybody was watching, saying shit like that, because I've hit a lot of the right check boxes, right? Being white and male.
Yeah, but you've had to deal with the body shaming BS in a way that I have not.
Body shaming. I grew up in a lower middle class household. We've always had to worry about getting money together, but not to the point where we weren't eating. So like, and you know, that like hard work, like long hard hours in a family that was kind of split halfway between blue collar and I don't know what my mother did was kind of it paid better and better as time went on, because she was a school teacher, and in Canada, school teachers are actually remunerated in a half decent way. But yeah, my father was a trucker and a construction guy. I was started as construction, went into trucking. And yeah, I was going to say something super off color and say that I don't know what it's like to be a person of color, but my left arm does, because it's always out the window getting a tan. But that's super wrong.
I actually do not know how I'm supposed to respond to that.
No, it's just it's super
because
wrong.
That actually like that does not strike me as a problematic statement at all. That strikes me as good old fashioned fun. But you know, I'm
so
literally
Maya can let us know.
Boy, so like,
if
what?
Maya has disappeared and gone to have me removed from the internet, then we'll know when my computer melts. We'll know that it was totally wrong. But yeah, I know. I see a lot of people in trucking are people of color, and one interesting thing about being in this part of Canada is that thank you Maya for giving me a free pass on not melting my computer with making a silly comment, but what I find interesting is that people of color who are I think what we would call black or African descent, none of, like, very few people I work with are from Africa. I think there might be one. There's like a Jamaican guy, and there's another guy who like the Jamaican guy actually came here from Jamaica in his own lifetime. The other guy, you can tell from his speech and stuff, has you know, ancestors going back generations here, just like I do. And there's really there's no difference like that. So I think of those guys, like, actually, like, it's funny because those guys that are what you call black are kind of in the same group or peer group as the people that are white, and it's the people that are recent immigrants from other places that are kind of, and they're not ostracized. We get along with them well enough, and I don't ostracize them. They're all good guys, but they don't hang around and chat the same way. And they hang around and chat with each other. But I find it interesting that these things go, like,
I have hot lips
themselves, right? Because they have a similar culture or whatever, right? That might not be okay. Oh, and Carrie just said something really important. But sorry, Punk the Pastor, go ahead, man.
Oh, I have hot lips. The candy?
Hot lips?
Yeah.
The candy.
Oh, okay.
My daughter came home.
I thought you were letting us know more about yourself.
Well, I do have hot lips too.
All right, there you go. You know those cinnamon flavored ones, right? What the hell are these white boys going on about? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Carrie talked about the First Nations people. So yeah, First Nations people are
Punk, are you white?
No. I'm an unhealthy shade of alabaster.
You know, I said alabaster earlier. Someone was giving me shit about it.
I'm more of a yellow.
You're more of a yellow.
Okay,
yeah,
but like,
are you jaundiced from your surgery, or what do you?
No, I think it's mostly dirt.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Yeah.
I don't know where I've been.
Yeah. The native peoples in Canada and the US, and I would think also in Mexico, and maybe I wouldn't doubt that also in South America and Central America, that Native populations are marginalized, ostracized, and left out. And in bigger places like this, women leave tribal lands to join the city brutally violated. Yeah, no, that is true. That is true, Carrie. That is an absolute travesty, and it's something we hear about here all the time, and we hear about it so often that it shouldn't, but it just you and it's not that we're numb to it. Like every single case of it, actually, like anytime I read like an actual article about what's going on, it makes me sick. But like we hear about it so often that it's almost become something like you don't notice, and I find it unbelievable, especially in places where there's much larger populations of First Nations, Indigenous. I'm not even sure what the right word is to use anymore because I keep getting told they're wrong. But
Indigenous.
Indigenous. Okay, are we allowed to say that now?
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to say.
Okay,
they're not Indians.
I'm telling me we're using the wrong words.
You know what? If you're talking to somebody who wants them to refer to you in a certain way and they correct you, follow that and don't be a dick about being corrected in any case. That's my strategy. Because I have heard contradictory details from different people.
Some people call there is
a reason that there has that the Department of Indian Affairs has like not been renamed or things like that. There are certain parts of it that at least on do choose to identify in certain ways. So and I've also learned this from like personal conversations. But yeah, generally
is that in the States?
In the States, yeah, at least. Yeah, where we have a whole other thing. I mean, this is something that I think Canada and the US actually share, is this particular stain.
Stain? Right? It's more than a stain.
Yeah,
abscess, gaping hole.
Yeah, it's a massive wound.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's something that I think like is terrible. Jaguar Bird Channel first. Okay, more else. So that's another good one. I'm going to make a note of. And I was just going to say that I have a few people I know who are from the First Nations, and every one of them.
I'm part Native.
Oh, you're part Native. So all the ones that I've met, you may disagree with this, and I certainly won't use this word if you disagree with it. But the ones that I know personally call themselves and their family Indian, and that's how they refer to themselves. And I don't make assumptions about anything, but they would never talk about words like First Nations, Indigenous, Aboriginal, any of those things. They don't use those words. They just say, I live on the Indian Reserve, or I grew up on the Indian Reserve. That's the words they use in regular conversation. But I try not to use terms that would offend them.
But it's also one of these things where I have to be cognizant that they could also be code switching, right? Like, because I'm not part of that community. Maybe they have a different I don't pretend to be intimately familiar with how everybody talks to everybody else in all circumstances. There are some of these things that you see a lot on TV, and if you're just going life by what you see on TV, like that's a problem. So I don't have a way of assuming that necessarily, maybe they're doing that because in their experience, when they're talking to people like me and they do bring up the language they prefer, it turns into a whole thing that doesn't end their way, and they just don't want to deal with it,
Yeah.
So,
a lot of people.
It's the constancy of having to navigate that is what. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't feel comfortable correcting other people too.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't.
My dad. Sorry.
Go ahead, Dr. Tap.
I was going to say, my dad was born in 1943. My dad was actually born on exactly the same day as Mick Jagger. They have exactly the same birthday, and my dad has passed away, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure he still looks younger than Mick Jagger. So there's that.
Yeah.
That's
a good point.
That was a right.
My dad, I
like to call a righteous burn.
Also, my dad's actually was born a couple of years later, and but also, despite being dead, may also look better.
Yeah. Yeah. But like my dad told me about how he remembers growing up the first time he sat at like it was a bar. It was like a lunch bar, sort of like diner sort of thing. And my dad grew up in Lexington, Massachusetts, like from Lexington. And well, I guess you might not know, but it was the place where like the first battle of the American Revolution started literally in that town, which is hilarious.
The British come.
He remembers when he was a teenager, the first time he ever like went to an establishment and sat down and was like at the same, in that case, lunch bar as a black person. And he had to be corrected one time on the use of some very outdated terminology. And it was a thing. He got like a little defensive about it, but he you know, took it under advisement and did not use that word anymore.
I think that's important because there were a lot of terms that I heard growing up that, and I would say my father was one who was not with the updating his vernacular. Is I think maybe a way to put it over the years, and I've refused to update mine on certain things, but not about addressing people. It's just I won't change the name of like a major landmark because a big company bought it. But that's neither here nor there in a way. But I remember my dad saying words that like I know now were like bad words, and to him they were just the way people talked. And then also I remember my grandmother saying things that were not right. And my grandmother actually, despite being from Canada and then coming back to Canada for most of her life, actually grew up in the States. And I think a lot of her understanding of race issues came from growing up in that environment, because I think she basically spent all of her school years there. Because my great grandfather had a job there at the time. And Carrie has posted something interesting here. I'm just posting this up in case people aren't in the chat, because I'm not really in the chat, but I'm watching the chat on StreamYard, which is an amazing thing to me. For those that don't know, I'm a professional truck driver, or at least they pay me for it. So I guess I'm a professional, but I'm often listening to people talk and not chatting. And then on the weekends, I like over chat and overshare. But I think words matter, and it's something that I actually started this whole stream talking about what I have in the way of privilege or advantage that isn't right, and also about how I have shit that isn't great, but I try to use that shit to make things better for myself and other people, and I try to remember that people all have whatever shit they're dealing with, right? Like, and Dr. Tap, I think like you're putting yourself in a category where like you have more highs and lows, I guess, if depending on how you want to address that. But that doesn't mean your life is perfect, and no one's saying it is.
No, yeah, no. Well,
right, and you've got
hopefully
things going on that are a challenge, right?
Yeah, and absolutely, there have been struggles. For me, they've been mostly mental health struggles, and it's it's been difficult in ways that are very difficult to see sometimes, and that I don't even realize are getting as I hit burnout 6 years into graduate school. I had just burned myself out. I was at the end of my rope, and I was super depressed, and it was really, really hard. And I didn't even realize how much I was struggling until I just couldn't deal with it anymore. And I had to take a bunch of time off work and go into therapy, which was like literally, beginning therapy was literally the best decision I have ever made in my entire life. And I am right now, I'm 31 years old, and I am like exactly where I want to be in life, and where I wanted to be when I was 11 years old. I was like, I want to be doing this when I grow up, and I am doing exactly that.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but
fucking awesome. But it didn't come with like, and I'm not saying you didn't actually say this, because I'm sure you've worked extremely hard to become as knowledgeable as you are in so many topics, and as and as entrenched as you are in the ones that are like part of your day-to-day work as well. And a lot of people know how much goes into becoming what they are, but they don't know what went into making someone else what they are. And it's important. It's important to take a step back and look at that. And I think I'm really glad you shared about that, because I definitely like mental health has been a part of my issues too. And I don't know if Punk wants to share any more about what they said about the medical issues they've had, but one of the things.
Oh my God! How much time you got?
What's going on? Well, not like I don't know. I don't know if my wife brings me a sandwich back from the fair, I guess I've got to go eat it at some point. But right now they're still out there. So yeah, until my wife comes back from the fair, and then she's gonna tell me to stop being weird on the computer. But I want to hear about that. But I before please say about that. But I just wanted to say that one of the things that I found, and also have tried therapy, and I'm going back to it. I've gotten back into doing it. Is that a lot of my upbringing was as a male. That I shouldn't need that kind of help, that my brain wasn't something that should ever fall apart, right? That I should just automatically have all that shit together. And I think there's something about being a man that is an advantage, and there's things that are disadvantage, and sometimes it feels like because the advantages seem bigger that you shouldn't complain about them, but a lot of times the pointing of the finger at the people that are calling the shots, being in charge because they're white males, it's like they are, but I'm not that white male, and that it's kind of shitty to be lumped in with shitty people like that, because
you can't
it
stop
sucks getting stereotyped.
Yeah, it does, and which is why it sucks for everyone else being stereotyped. And so
exactly
the whole thing is shitty, and this is why we have to use these amazing gifts we have, and the fact that we're allowed to speak freely to some degree, although we're not allowed to mention the German Socialist Workers' Party or certain words that I don't know what they are. But
I'm pretty sure that the States has them now.
The who?
You guys, I'm so scared. I'm so scared for you guys down there. Like, I'm not even joking. What? Down in the US.
Your first statement before you said "I'm so scared" got cut out, so we missed it. What were you saying? What are you scared about?
Oh, just what's going on down there. Like
Like generally, or was there something that happened like today that I'm not aware of? Because I haven't watched the news today, so like
well, no, it's just I read
we have another insurrection.
No, wait, no, sorry, that was a circumcision. Sorry, that's wrong. No, I read the article. An article the other day. I read an article the other day that said it's now safer to walk the streets of Florida as a Nazi than as a black person or LGBTQ. And I am like, that is scary.
That depends. I have no idea how they're saying that there are absolutely places that's true. It is absolutely not the case. Categorically, it is not the case that is true everywhere in Florida. I visited Florida this spring, and the place I went to, I immediately made friends with all of the gay guys in the tiki bar that were there. And we hung out all week. It was fantastic. And they were like, you got to come move here to Daytona. So apparently Daytona is not that bad, which is really weird because they have a huge NASCAR track right there. Florida is a bag of contradictions, is my point. And I do not want to move there. That sounds awful.
Well, there's been Nazi marches like every day for the last 2 weeks, I think. Or every weekend. Like huge rallies.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, I'm real sorry about that. I am.
I mean that's a terrible fucking thing. Florida's filled with Florida men. Yeah. And Florida women too. I don't want to not give them their
no. It's gold. I will say though that actually derives the reason that is such a common meme. Florida compared to other places is because they have some crazy, awesomely good public transparency laws about the criminal justice system. Yeah, and so you're able to get information much more transparently, easily, compared to most places.
Their Freedom of Information Act is like,
I
want this. They're like, okay.
And they have. I did not know that, so I asked. I was on a stream with Slim Cyborg does a channel that I often can be heard on if anybody likes that kind of nonsense.
Who?
And Slim Cyborg. And if I knew how to share the channel, I would, but I don't know how. He's an interesting character. He's a cool guy. I've talked to him a few times on his show, quite a few times at this point. I don't know how I got involved there. Glober Mom, who some of you may know as a content producer, and also and often a chatter in the anti-flat Earth world, bought and paid for by NASA, I'm sure, but she's a lovely woman.
They pay well.
So yeah, they do. I mean, that was originally how I got into this, but they stopped paying. So then I was like, I'm gonna have to start debunking something else. Or bunking. Should I be? Maybe there's more money in bunking than debunking. But like my next debunk is of Ashanti's cat cuteness situation. Because you don't just throw up a video for 6 seconds and make a claim like that without backing it up, especially when she's constantly on it.
That would be my leaked sex tape.
Yeah, 6 seconds.
6 seconds.
6 seconds. Well, at least there was a leak, right? Hey, something was wet.
Was that the Flash?
Oh, about a book covering ancient brewing and winemaking. That's changing. Carrie, that is a tangent of epic proportion, but I'm glad we got the Florida woman here. The Freedom of Information Act isn't what put Florida in the news for shitty guns. Yeah, those are
damn straight.
Yeah, but they're
not the origin of the Florida meme, of the Florida man meme, though.
Yeah, but the reason why it's so easy to look up Florida man is because there's no problem finding out who got arrested and why.
That's what the
talking about these crazy things. So this guy Slim, he's like I don't want to call him a circus performer because he's not in a circus, but he does sword swallowing, and he has a tremendous number of piercings that he hangs stuff off of, and he makes he has a day job making resin artwork and stuff. He's a neat guy, but he's a pretty smart guy, not in a super well educated post-doctorate type situation, which puts him in good company with me and bad company with others. But he understands some of the stuff, and he just sort of tries to fight against people that are being shitty. And usually he's calling out people that are total moron idiots. But he has people come on and talk about stuff, and but they also just laugh at stuff. And I was kind of I kind of got frustrated that I couldn't go on and talk chat with them, because there was always funny stuff being said, and I always felt like I had something to say about everything they were talking about. And then they started letting people join in, and I was like, oh, I'll do that, why not? So sometimes if I'm in a spot with cell reception, I'll just talk to them like I'm on a cell phone call and listen to them laugh at stuff, and then I have to go back and rewatch it to see what the video or the images were. But they had Florida Man up there with something, and I was like, what is it with Florida? And I was like, I just said, hey, it's how come Rhode Island doesn't get in on this action? And they're like, it's actually because every shitty thing you do is in the news.
Yep.
And
Rhode Island, man, doesn't have the same ring.
Also, yeah, they don't. Nobody in Rhode Island likes to drive for more than 10 minutes.
That's what I was laughing at. Maya's comment. Florida's a legit crazy.
Yeah, Florida man. Yeah, they are legit crazy, and not just
people throw alligators in drive-through windows at other people.
Yeah.
What
fuck? It's not like
all he got was an animal abuse charge.
Window, right?
What?
I don't know what.
Oh man.
May on fire. May on fire. So,
you got to go to the next one.
Maya on fire.
I made a.
Well, not everyone.
She's calling me crazy, and I'm playing into that for chat. Please, FBI, do not put me on a list. I mean, not another one.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't put me out, Meyer, on the list.
I mean, I was just impressed that you had a shrine to the entire month of May.
That'd be that. That honestly though, that would be weirder, right? Like, have you ever heard of somebody having a shrine to a day of the week or a month of the year? No, you've heard of plenty of people. Really? A shrine to a month?
Shrine to a month. I mean, it depends on the month.
I've never heard of that.
I mean, I set up a small one in my living room every year to December. But
the month of you're not celebrating the month of December. You're celebrating the something that does overlap chronologically quite a lot with it, but it's not the same thing semantically.
No, that's true. That's true. But to me, it feels like December tree because I'm an atheist, and because of that, it's just the December lights and presents tree.
My birthday is New Year's Eve, so.
Yeah, that's fair. And
December
December is a little bit like that. I will grant you that.
Yeah. So Punk the Pastor, how many did we let you go on about your diseases and stuff?
My diseases.
Did you want to
collect them and trade them with your friends?
Because I don't mind going on a tangent as long as at some point I can bend it back into a J and put it back on the dome that it came off of.
Back before I got sick, I was a therapist, and I worked a lot with youth, and I wanted to make STD trading cards because I did sexual health, and so it would be like STDs, collect them and trade them with your friends.
I'm pretty sure that would make things worse.
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, as long as you don't have to actually get the disease to collect the card, I mean.
But they would. They would get the disease. They would do it for the meme.
Yeah. I see your herpes and I give you AIDS.
Okay,
the worst.
I'm putting this up here from Maya just because we don't know what she said this about. It could have been.
I'm pretty sure she said this about the SPD card game. I would just, unless she's talking about my shrine that I made to her.
I'm just saying, like, the last 5 minutes. I mean, we'll just leave that up there because there we go. Saturday shrines are all the rage. You know what? I used to have a shrine.
Man, that's on the internet now. That is living in infamy.
To be fair, if we delete this fast enough, then it won't be okay because probably nobody will store it.
Probably. I mean, we'd have to be more high. We have to be tall dandelions. What do we have to be? I don't know. I mean, Dr. Tab's pretty famous amongst all the people that I see in the chat.
Okay. I am less well known, I think, for sure than Maya, and I would be shocked if I was not less well known than Carrie Ann. Like in terms of chat, like they've both been around the chat for longer than me. Also, you and I really do have a pretty remarkable overlap currently. Like you're not wrong on that.
Who, like you, like Dr. Tap and Al Trucker?
Yeah.
No,
that is in the same place.
What is that?
Yes, Maya's way more famous than me.
Maya is, yes. She's more famous.
She's a mod like everywhere.
She's more famous.
I am infamous.
And I'm not even a mod on my channel.
Well, she's not a mod on her channel either. She's a god on her channel, and you're a god on yours.
Goddess.
Yeah, Carrie Ann's the best. You know, Carrie Ann's an amazing chatter. And I don't even remember where I first bumped into them, but I do remember that they were friendly and conversational from the get-go. And from the get-go. All right. Is that a weird Canadian phrase? I don't even know sometimes.
No, I use from the get-go.
From the get-go, okay. So on Dr.
I've been using from the get-go. So, yeah.
So yeah, from the get-go, you've been using that one. The goddess. The goddess.
The goddess.
Okay. There. Yes, let's get that right. Let's get that right.
I'm the goddamn.
You should give Carrie a wrench.
Carrie a wrench? I can do that. I just have to remember. No, I can't because I closed it.
Well,
closed YouTube.
That means you have to open it. That doesn't mean you can't. Open YouTube. You have to believe in yourself, Al.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
You gotta carry this. You gotta treat this like a job, okay? And I don't know how heavy this is, but it can probably fit on your truck.
It probably can. Yeah, but I have the weight of the universe on my thing here. 6 people are watching. Wow.
There's no gravity in space, so the universe really wouldn't be that heavy.
That isn't true. Space is gravity.
Yeah, but there's so little of it that
the curvature of space is gravity.
But it still wouldn't be that heavy. I guess because gravity is part of the universe.
This is a very deep question, actually.
Yeah,
this is why I want Dr. Tap on the show. But
we need Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I don't want Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Am I not good enough for you?
He's gonna fuck it up, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's a lovely man. He speaks eloquently, but
he's not a professional physicist.
Dr. Tap is an atomic physicist.
Are you?
Oh yeah,
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I am.
My personal.
I'm a postdoc.
Dr. Tap is an atomic physicist. Yeah, he's a real live doctor, and he's asked me to stop showing him the mole on my scrotum.
I have this problem with my ass. Let me just switch to camera.
I had that in college. I had shingles on my ass. It was awful.
Holy shit!
Could have been worse. They could have been in your ass.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Yeah, it didn't. It could have been worse.
A lot of roofers.
Anyway.
Welcome to the medical part of the show.
But,
yeah. So
physics is like, I love physics. It's so much fun.
I want to tell everyone, I'm telling them out loud so that Dr. Top won't report me to the authorities, that I have been
This can't go anywhere good.
I've been sending the weasel all sorts of crazy thoughts I've had over the last week of things to talk about, because last week we had a conversation about physics and weird science shit, and we talked about conceptually that we'd do that again this week, and then we ended up doing whatever this is instead. A confusion of weasels, yes. So I've been thinking about a lot of sciencey things, and gravity, I heard described. So I'm not making this claim. I heard this claim made is that gravity is like what gravity is and how it shapes space and time to make space time. It is actually the one thing that makes the universe what it is. Now, I want Dr. Tap to talk about that, but I also want him to, if he's up to it, tell me about how light and matter interact, and also about the one-way speed of light. And how...
hold on. You can't keep adding things to the list, okay?
These are all the crazy things I brought up this week.
Hold on. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. You are gonna think of 5. You're gonna think of 5 things, and then you're gonna make a poll in YouTube chat.
Okay.
And then we'll choose one. And then, I go on tangents. You go on tangents. I'm a
tangent king.
100%. Okay. Also, I'm hearing some echo, Punk.
Yeah, I can see it in the.
Ask a question.
The around my name.
Yeah, it's actually not like bad. It's filtered all the heck, but it's
supposed to work. Give me a second. Okay. Can I mute myself?
You can do that. You can also, it seems like you could, if you just move the mic a little bit further away, it wouldn't be a problem. Or maybe that's because you already have a software voice echo cancellation that's doing pretty well.
I hear pigeons. Okay.
That's actually really funny.
It totally sounds like pigeons.
It does.
Okay, now my family's home, so we gotta quickly discover the nature of the universe.
Other weasels are getting rowdy.
Okay.
Did I do anything?
I was no, not really.
Yeah, that made it worse, didn't it?
I don't know if it did that.
I tried to make a thing, and now I need to know if it worked. And this is still muted.
Yes, it worked.
Okay. Half your view count is watching now. Oh my god, I'm a streamer's dream. I thought the other way was okay. Half my view count. Yeah, who is my view count? All right, I'm assuming my son or my wife are coming down. Hey, bud. You came back? Okay, I'm going to come up and eat. Ewan and Justin. Yes. Okay. Oh, wow, you got Link's sword. That's awesome. I'll come up in about 15, 20 minutes. Okay, buddy? All right.
Did that do anything?
Testing. I don't see any
Hello?
echo. I don't hear. I don't. Can you hear? Can you hear us? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, because you're no longer echoing. You're no longer echoing.
The pigeon thing is gone. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty awesome.
I just need to know if the poll came up in the chat.
It did.
And if anybody has an opinion. I can't see it here though, right?
Well, I can see it. It's in YouTube. I don't know if you can see it from StreamYard,
No, I can't.
We don't actually. Maya and I don't use StreamYard for the stream. We use EVMux.
Okay.
Looks like we're talking about weasels.
We're talking about weasels.
Yeah, that's not a physics topic though. So gravity.
It is if you boil them down into subatomic particles and pull out electrons and try to figure them out by spin and color by throwing them through a box. And that's an interesting thing I learned about boxing electrons.
About boxing that could mean a lot of different things.
That's not so remember I was trying to text with you about this when we were listening to people talk about Heisenberg, and I wondered if the uncertainty of an electron's color and spin, that you could find out a spin, you can find out its color, but you can't find out its spin.
They don't have colors.
This guy said black or white. He said black or white.
The only person who thinks that I know of is Roger. And trust me, you don't want to be getting your electron theory.
It wasn't a Roger video. This guy was a guy, but I think he was trying to make a point rather than actually doing.
Was it? This wasn't the channel with Ruth and David and Cease to Say or something.
Well, this was before watching that thing with
Dr.
Ruth.
Bell.
I found this other video, which it now occurs to me I'm gonna have to look at what that was and show it to you so you can tell me if it's bunk or not. Because it sure as hell seemed like the guy was like in front of a class of people at a university, not a Roger thing. Now, what he was saying. Go ahead.
Because if it's about electrons are very simple. Electrons have 3 properties, basically. 3 properties, and that's it. Their mass. They have a mass. They're about 2,000 times less massive than a proton.
Okay.
They have a charge. Their charge is 1.9, I think, times 10 to the negative 18 coulombs. Or better yet, 1 coulomb is 1.6 times 10 to the positive 18 or 19 electrons. Electrons have a unit of charge of 1. That they are the best way to count charge when you're talking about particles, not with. It's a very small amount of charge.
Electrons have the charge. Okay,
but it's a very small amount of charge. If you have a spark hit your hand, that spark will have many millions and billions of electrons in it. But not trillions and not trillions multiplied by trillions multiplied by trillions. It won't have that many.
Which is how many are in
quantum physics.
Yeah, exactly. If all of the electrons in a coffee mug, zapped onto your hand, it would probably vaporize your hand.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
That's a lot of electrons.
And if my coffee mug was made of antimatter, I could vaporize my entire self. And you'd turn your hand into energy. It would more than vaporize. It would turn to energy.
Okay, here's a fun science fact.
We're gonna talk about this. I want to talk about how to make matter out of energy.
Sure. Punk, what were you saying?
Here's a fun science fact. If the Earth turned into a black hole, it'd be the size of a plum.
I did not know the precise dimensions. I mean, plum size isn't precise, but it's pretty precise.
I mean, any stone fruit, I think, in comparison to the size of the Earth, what the Earth actually is, it gives us a bit of a scale.
All of the energy of the Earth packed into the size of around a plum.
Yeah,
that would be us as a black hole.
The mass would be.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Crazy like a fox. Whatever that means.
What is the formula for the Schwarzschild radius?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
3?
4? That's not well. I mean, yeah, three-thirds of a Schwarzschild radius. Yeah, that would be accurate, I suppose.
A Schwarzschild
Exactly.
radius.
Hey.
Okay.
So the Schwarzschild radius is the radius. Okay, so the Schwarzschild radius is 2 times g times m over c squared. So it's linear in the mass. This is important. If you double the mass of a black hole, you double its size, which is weird. That's a little bit weird, right?
Okay, so you're saying it doubles when you say double its size, so its volume doubles along with its mass.
No. It's radius doubles along with
its radius. It's sorry,
radius.
It's radius.
Yeah, I may have. It's very possible that I did. It's very possible that I misspoke.
I thought you said
don't know.
size. I thought you said size.
But, okay. I think I probably actually did say size, which is not well defined. So the radius doubles. The radius doubles. Here, I can let me.
If the radius doubles, that would also mean that
I can. I'm just going on Wikipedia. I am not. This is not my field. Okay.
All right. And I'm gonna be sharing now here, right?
Yeah.
Is this the way? Is this the right way to share it?
Yeah.
If I do this, does that make it bigger? No, that's shitty.
Yeah.
Okay. It makes it bigger, but it's not good in another way, right?
It made it look like we were the authors.
Yeah, I know.
No, well, I just
I'm about.
Yeah, we wrote this paper, guys. So
in case anybody's interested,
this is Wikipedia. I want to be clear. Okay, I'm not
a scientific. I'm publishing in a real journal. My very first scientific paper. I'm a co-author.
You are?
Like actually?
Yeah, actually.
Dude, okay. This is old news. What I'm showing on the screen, what you're saying sounds exciting.
We just got the news on Friday that they're going to publish it.
What? Please tell us what's going on.
Some changes. Well, I'm not allowed to let this cat out of the bag until it's published.
That's a very fair point. Yeah.
What's that?
I said that's a very fair point. You embargoing results until publication is assured. It is a thing that happens.
Yeah. So I'm not. I'm so unsophisticated academically because I'm not an academic that I'm letting the doctor in charge, who actually is also a real doctor, but not one that wants to see the mole on my scrotum. And he's not a medical doctor either.
Look at it.
Yeah,
let's see.
He's not a medical doctor. No, but he's kind of the head in charge of this. There's more than one doctor working on this. More than one PhD working on it.
What's the thesis?
So I'm very proud to be part of a paper. And it's about obesity research.
Oh, okay.
So cool. So when this is published, I will share this. So the Schwarzschild radius, or the gravitational radius, is a physical parameter. The Schwarzschild solution to Einstein's field equations corresponds
to the radius of a black hole.
Okay, the event horizon of a Schwarzschild black hole. Only a Schwarzschild black hole, though, not just
a Schwarzschild black hole is, I believe, one that's not rotating. I believe that is what it is. I can't remember.
And you don't want to get them spinning.
Non-rotating, so non-rotating black hole, which makes sense because if they rotate the event horizon, I believe has a different character. I don't know.
So the R.
But anyway, the radius is 2 times g. This is the gravitational constant. It is equal to 6.674, I believe, times 10 to the negative 28. Inverse kilogram something per something. I don't know.
That's the gravitational
it's a small number.
Constant.
That's a gravitational constant.
Very small number. Yeah.
Yeah, you learned, but you did. Yeah, and then c is the speed of light, which is a pretty big number. So, and then mass is the mass of the thing. So, if you put in the mass of Earth here, then this here is the radius of a plum, apparently.
Okay. So that's if you take that. So you put M, big M becomes the mass of our Earth.
Yeah.
Okay, and then little r on the left side of the equation What's the S there? Is just to show that it's the Schwarzschild?
Yeah, exactly.
The Schwarzschild radius. Okay, so little r being the Schwarzschild radius. Okay, but what about the tapioca radius? Have you considered writing your own formula for that?
I mean, yes. I'm pretty comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable just cruising with the recognition my name already has in physics. So
okay,
not because of me.
Yeah,
I want to be clear about that.
Because of the aluminum belt sander.
Yes, because of the aluminum globe belt sander.
Yeah, it doesn't look anything like a phallus, so you're good, man.
I mean, I think I'm the only one. I think it looks more like a phallus than literally everybody that I know. They're all like, it's a ball on a stick. That's like, and then they look at me and they're like, what do you got going on down there? Do you need to see a doctor? And I'm like, hey, don't worry about it, okay? Like,
okay.
Are you a flat Earth debunker?
I'm aspiring.
Flat Earth debunks itself, but yeah, Dr. Tap could
explain aspiring. Actually, the first time I like totally doxed myself on YouTube was when a guy was like, hey, I disproved the flat Earth with a Van de Graaff generator. And this could not stand. Do you know why this could not stand, Punk?
Because you can't debunk a globe Earth with any scientific, anything scientific. Because it's not scientific.
There are three reasons. You got one reason. The other reason is that I am a physicist, and therefore these things hit me double hard. The third reason is that Robert Van de Graaff, who invented the Van de Graaff generator, is my grandfather.
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit the bed.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I think I've discovered a new passion in life. But the interesting thing about the Schwarzschild radius is that the radius increase doubles if you double the mass, and therefore the volume goes up by a factor of 8, which means that if you just keep on making the mass more and more and more, every time you double the mass, the density goes down by a factor of 4.
It goes down by a factor
of 4.
Say that one more time. It goes down by a factor of 4 when you decrease the mass.
When you double, if you double the mass, the density. If you compute it as though it was a solid thing, obviously the idea is that there's like a singularity, and it's not like a solid object. But to be fair, we don't actually really know what goes on in it.
How many times have you held a singularity in your hand?
Well, that's depends on what you mean. Singularities are mathematical things.
Well, you think I'm being euphemistic, right? But
no. I thought you were referring to like an actual like singularity in a physical sense.
A singularity in a physical.
Because that would be because here's the thing: like anytime you have an electron orbital, which is higher than S wave, that is going to have a phase singularity at the center, because that's how wave functions work, because it's 0 there. So
because wave function
in that sense, you have an enormous number. You have like Avogadro's number of singularities just like in your hands because of the electrons.
Now, can we use Avogadro's number for anything other than a molar mass, or like can we just use it for anything? Because sometimes I sometimes just toss that out as like the amount upon which I would multiply a Googleplex to achieve my love for my wife or something like that.
Well, no, see what you want is the number that the next like articulable number that's like bigger than Rayo's number.
Oh, bigger than Rayo's number.
And then you got to know what Rayo's number is.
Sometimes I Google big numbers, and then the word Google comes up in the Google.
Yeah, Google isn't very big.
Yeah,
you can literally write down a Google.
Yeah, but the thing is, if I multiply a Google by Avogadro's number, it's an even bigger number.
Yeah, but you can still write that down. You would just write down Avogadro's number, which is going to take 26. You're going to have to write down 26 characters.
Yeah, and then they have like a symbol for
and then you have to write down 100 more. And guess what? How long is your name? It takes you longer than that to write your name 30 times.
Probably.
So
yeah. And my wife tells me I have to end the stream soon because she feels lonely because I'm down here streaming, and she was out at the fair.
Tell her to come stream.
Yeah, tell her that was literally, you read my mind, Punk.
Yeah, it would be great to get my wife to come and stream, but she would just tell me that she thinks I'm dumb for talking to smart people about dumb people, which is
when did we talk about dumb people? We didn't even.
At least you're not that.
Roger.
There's this flat earther.
She thinks all of this is about debunking the flat earth.
Punk, okay, I want to. So since you have to go, sorry, I just wanted to Punk. I'm already friends with Al on Discord. Are you on Discord?
I am.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm Tapioca
I don't know
Weasel
Punk on Discord, but how do we?
Are you guys on Pocket Locker or
I don't know.
Gin and Truth?
No.
I follow Gin and Truth only on YouTube, but I don't know on Discord.
Can you put your name in the private chat? Because my name is just Tapioca Weasel. This is
my name is
I was originally
Punk to Pasture. The number sign. 6069. I did not put that. That was given to me by Discord, and I'm not getting rid of it.
That came up.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
wait!
I forgot to tell Stephanie what my channel is.
There's only 6 people watching, and they're all friends. So
okay.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't want.
If this channel blows up, though, then
I'm screwed.
We gotta we just gotta let them know to delete it. You know.
Yeah, we should do this once in a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to do this every once in a while and talk about interesting things to interesting people, and then like boring people can come here and become interesting.
I'm boring.
Oh,
no, you're not.
Why didn't it work?
Oh, I want to be boring.
You shared with Beck.
Come say hi.
Okay. Well, Beck obviously didn't want to be here, or they like being here, but they didn't want to chat or whatever. But I only see 6 eyeballs, so like I can account for most of these eyeballs.
Yeah. Well, there's whoa. Oh yeah, I logged back in.
Even more
so I could read the chat. I got my one phone playing a video game. I got my other phone on the chat, and then my tablet. I'm doing the live stream. I'm like a low budget gamer. I use 2 smartphones.
Okay. I feel bad that I didn't get Stephanie in here because she asked me for the thing and I didn't get it.
Oh no!
She asked me on Discord, but I wasn't paying attention to Discord. And it's extra bad because I just became friends with her on Discord today.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. But she's probably found something better to watch. I don't know what the hell that would be. All right. So
I love you all.
All right.
What channel are we going to go live on now?
I don't know. You guys are going to figure that out. And
let's go live on your channel, Punk. I can't.
I don't know if I have one.
This is going to end. They'll have to just watch it later and enjoy it.
All right. I can't do it because reasons. Reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know how to do it.
Okay. Well, then maybe you could twist Maya's arm into it, but I doubt it. I don't know. Maybe she does stuff like that.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
No, you guys
I've
had
never
some
seen her stream out of nowhere, but maybe she will. Maybe she will. Anyway,
she already has to stream with me tomorrow, so
that's right. And I'm looking forward to that. All right. Well,
I'll try to start one. Okay.
Cool.
All right,
and then you guys can come on and
you guys
chat.
enjoy. I might catch up with stuff later, and I just
all right.
Dr. Top, if you figure out where it is, send me a message, and hopefully I'll see that, and then I'll figure this
Yeah.
out. So thanks everybody, I appreciate it. No from you, dog. All right, is that how you spell dog when you're calling someone a dog? It's a dog.
No, it's,
I don't know
how
how-
you spell dog when you're
know
referring to a like one of your homies. I don't know.
One of my homies. Yeah, because you can tell I call people my homie all the time.
I do.
And then I'm gonna have to Google what a dog
I
is.
used to.
I realize it's the same word family as pog, and I don't know what a pog is. So
A pog? You don't know what a pog is? How old are you?
I'm like old. I'm like 50.
How old are you?
I'm 47.
Me? I'm
Yeah.
43.
You're 43. See, you're young.
How old do you
Neil
think
is
I am?
Neil is like
12?
Woof. Well done. Okay.
look at
You win.
you're a year younger than Toon.
First time. First try. I'm pretty
All
good
right, I
at
wanna
guessing
thank
people's
everybody for
ages.
joining. It's like we have 8 times more people than were here the last time. And 32 is wrong. 42 is the correct answer.
Who's 42?
All right.
No, it's not anybody's age. 42 just happens to be the correct answer.
I mean,
The meaning. Oh, right. The meaning of life. Right,
The
right.
universe and everything.
Hitchhiker's Guide. Hitchhiker's
All right.
Guide.
All right, all you fruits, go
Right.
out there and have a great evening. I'll talk to you later.
You just call me a great unit. Thank you.
I said fruit, but anyway.
Oh, I thought you called me
Anyway.
a great unit.
Okay. I know about G units. Maya, you're not going to be 44 in December. 24. 24. You mistyped that. All right. I'm 12, and what's this? I don't know. All right. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy. Enjoy your evenings. And if I stream again, maybe I'll know ahead of time, but I probably won't.
If I stream again. If I stream